a stream? Because
Just
isn't it different?
no, not really.
Bad swear words.
Yeah.
So we're not allowed. We can't swear.
I mean, we can swear. We're watching Scout the Laws. So
True.
yeah.
Just nothing that we wouldn't usually say.
Yeah.
Hey all, Scott here. The Wii U is about 3 large footsteps away from the grave, and I thought it sounded pretty neat to kill time before it goes kathunk in a casket by having a Nintendo Switch wish sesh. So, here is my Nintendo Switch wish list. Everything I want to see from the next generation of Nintendo. My main wish with the Nintendo Switch
Oh
is
boy,
it's
that
a clean
aged
break
well.
from the Wii U, and don't get me wrong, I like the Wii U. It was quirky and fun. Alas, it did have a cornucopia of problems. It wasn't up to snuff with the competition, wasn't really attractive, and didn't give me much reason to come back. Oh, and it's gonna die a lonely sub 30 frames per second Breath of the Wild riddled death. To be fair, a lot of those traits sound similar to describing somebody you're pretending to like, but in reality you wholeheartedly despise. It already seems to be taking on a whole new direction for Nintendo in almost every way, which is pretty nice. One of the biggest problems with the Wii U was that it was a mess. The thing had so many accessories not only for it, but inherited ones from the Wii. The Wii U not only supported almost every Wii accessory, but required Wii remotes for some games. That just overcomplicates things. Just have the standard Switch, the Pro Controller, and we're golden. I'm honestly just tired
Nintendo
of the
Switch
Wii
was
and
a
Wii U
doo-doo
era, and I
mess.
just want the controllers to simply die a horrible death alongside them. I mean, these controllers are coming in at 10 years old at this point. Yeah, they connect via Bluetooth, means they'd be wicked simple to implement into the Switch. But I want new toys to play with. I don't want these hand-me-downs. Because I want the Wii Remote to be retired, I hope the Joy-Cons on the Switch have motion controls, so motion-based games can be played straight out of the box. Because some games just work better with motion. Games like Pikmin are to die for with pointer controls. I just don't want to use a 10-year-old controller to enjoy games like that. I want to use new controllers and leave the accessories and problems of the Wii and Wii U in the past. My god, I want this to feel like 2017. My online purchases on the Wii U and 3DS are still tied to the console. What century is this? An account system or cloud storage is desperately needed, and a use for My Nintendo would be appreciated. System-wide achievements feel so at home on Nintendo consoles, it's honestly blasphemy that they never appeared on the Wii U. Nintendo gamers love 100% in games for no apparent reason. Give them incentive to do it or reward them for doing it. And I understand why Nintendo didn't implement My Nintendo features into Wii U and 3DS games, because that's just disrespectful to do to corpses. But I feel like implementing My Nintendo and missions into Switch games gives reason for My Nintendo to exist while also satiating that lust for achievements. How about that Mario game, huh? That moment I saw it, I knew this was a real 3D Mario with more open and detailed environments, and oh boy, you can't forget that triple decker of a jump Mario was performing right there. Obvious, real 3D Mario. My main wish is that this new 3D Mario is a new galaxy in everything but form. Mario Galaxy is definitely number 1 on my top 10 neat games list, but I want to see something new. Galaxy was so great for me because it was something so fresh and new, but true to what made Mario such a great franchise. I want this next 3D Mario to be something like Galaxy, in which it is an entirely new concept and houses clusters of innovation, but still, it's a 3D Mario game at its core. A ton of people are at a murderous state of anarchy when it comes to speculating Retro Studios' next big title. While most people are speculating a new Metroid or revival of an old Nintendo relic or a new IP in general, I'm going to add a dash of cynicism to the mix by saying I bet it's going to be a third Donkey Kong Country. Don't get me wrong, DKC Returns and Tropical Freeze are pretty banging games, but after years of getting mostly 2D platformers from Nintendo, I just don't really want to see another Donkey Kong Country game from Retro right now, and I feel like everybody is on the same page. But Retro made 3 Metroid Prime games, and Donkey Kong Country Returns outsold all 3 Metroid Prime games combined. So I think there's not much reason to believe Retro would stop at 2 Donkey Kong Country games when they made 3 Metroids. Now, that's what I expect. Now, what would I want? Of course, I'd love to see Retro go back to Metroid, revive an old Nintendo relic, or create a new IP in general. I think that's the hip thing to want these days. But of course, that leaves DKC
Scott the
alone
Woz
when it
talking
is, in
about
fact, one of Nintendo's big
talking
franchises. Well, Monster Games ported Donkey Kong Country Returns to the 3DS and assisted development of Tropical Freeze. They are a talented bunch. They developed Excite Truck and Excite Bots, and they ported Xenoblade to the new 3DS. I think I would be perfectly fine with them overtaking development duties of the Donkey Kong Country franchise, with Retro supervising or helping out here and there, while Retro goes off and does something new. I would sorta times 100 be okay with that. 2015 was a year of quantity over quality for Nintendo. That's where we saw some grade D titles such as Amiibo Festival, Chibi Robo Ziplash, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and games like Metroid Prime Federation Force and Star Fox Zero announced. It just seemed like Nintendo took these beloved franchises and just forgot what made them beloved to begin with. Now games like Paper Mario Color Splash sort of follow this trend, but me alongside many others didn't mind the game, and that new Pikmin side-scroller coming out, it ain't Pikmin, but it could be okay. But Nintendo, please bring these franchises back in the way they deserve to be brought back. Don't reincarnate 1080 snowboarding as a Fortune Street knockoff. Amiibo is about to turn 3 years old this year, and with this anniversary, I must say with brevity, Amiibos blow. Specifically in 2015, it felt like Nintendo was saturating the market with not only these things, but seemingly rushed Amiibo games in the forms of Chibi Robo Ziplash and Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. A couple games nobody cared about with overstocking stores everywhere with obscure Animal Crossing and Smash Brothers characters, and it's pretty safe to say Amiibo have lost its luster. But wait, this can be salvaged. I would dig all Nintendo games to have superfluous Amiibo support in the same vein as Mario Maker, Smash Brothers, Yoshi's Woolly World, etc. These games utilize most Amiibo figures and give you a reason to own more than just your favorite characters, while not alienating those who have not dipped their feet into the Amiibo tub. Nintendo needs to reward the fans who have spent thousands on these figures by supporting most released Amiibo in most games, but keep this support to small things like costumes so then you can perfectly enjoy a game without the things. However, I feel like there needs to be one Amiibo mandatory game per year. I think the collaboration between Tecmo Koei and Nintendo could lead to something like way past okay. Alright, get this. A warrior style game where you can scan in any Amiibo. Neat, right? Alright, in terms of the perspective department, Nintendo is hemorrhaging creativity. 2D started to become the standard for Nintendo games after a while, and instead of feeling like a design choice, it just felt like a choice made because 2D games are cheaper to develop for than 3D. I'm honestly tired of 2D Nintendo games, but I don't think they should go away entirely. Them going away entirely is the reason we got nothing but 2D games for the past few years. I think there needs to be far more 3D titles than 2D titles, say 30% 2D, 70% 3D, and satiated I shall be. There has been a plethora of leaked information about the Nintendo Switch available online before the big January 12th event, so I might as well address the rumors. One of the biggest talking points is this Rabbids Mario crossover RPG that's being rumored. And may I humbly say that I saw this coming from a mile away. And if we convert miles to years, that brings us to about 9 years ago.
Right.
And then I told him, if a president should be anyone, it sure is Donald Trump. Oh, hi! My name is 11-year-old Scott Wozniak, and I'm doing the whole being 11 years old thing with relative aptitude and luxury. Well, I was about to slip into my Aeropostale graphic tee and play some $1.99 distractions on my iPod Touch when I came to think, man, wouldn't it be beast if there was a Mario and Rabbids crossover RPG in 9 years? Sigh, a man, or should I say 11-year-old boy, can dream.
While it does supply a hearty dose of Bizarre to the supposed Switch lineup, I'm not completely against the idea of a Rabbids Mario RPG. My problem with it is that I see no true game between Ubisoft or Nintendo with this venture. I feel like any way you slice it, Ubisoft would have supported the Switch, so I think it would have been more beneficial for Nintendo to court third parties that may have been more hesitant to support the platform, like EA or Square Enix, and offering to do a crossover with them. That way, they become acquainted with the hardware, and their crossover do relatively well since it would be with a Nintendo franchise on a Nintendo platform. Alas, I am keeping an open mind. This just isn't anything I'm gleefully giddy over. We are also apparently getting a surplus of Wii U ports to the Nintendo Switch in the forms of Mario Kart, Mario Maker, Splatoon, Smash Brothers, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. Now, these ports aren't necessarily wetting the entirety of my whistle, but I am completely for them. You see, with the use of DLC, a lot of these games feel a lot newer than what they really are. A lot of them are coming in at 2, even 3 years old. So I think having an upgraded port makes a lot of sense, because my hankering levels are pretty low for a new Mario Kart or Smash Brothers, and I think just porting existing games with new content and all the existing DLC included is a pretty smart move. So good one, Nintendo. Here's what I want to see in these ports. I'd like to see 2 to 4 new cups, around that number. Mario Kart 8 already has 48 tracks in it, so I think we could probably go up to around 60 or so before it starts to feel a little too diluted. Absolutely cream the old battle mode in the face and replace it with a new, finely tuned one, throw in some new characters and maybe a mission mode, and we're off to the pretty bangin' peninsula. Don't focus on weapons. I dig Splatoon, but I felt like the original had way way too many weapons, and a solid 40% of them could have been axed due to them being so similar to other ones. I say focus on new maps, modes, more single-player content, better local multiplayer, and the triumphant return of Splatfest. Mario Maker is an odd duck simply based on the fact that the Switch has been confirmed to be a single-screen experience. I always thought the conjunction between doing your own thing on the gamepad and having others gawk at your creation sesh on the big screen was a big part of the Mario Maker experience. But as we saw from the release of Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo has no problem taking what we thought was integral aspects to Mario Maker and giving it a tug. I would love it if Mario Maker had more art styles. I always thought it would be sick to have a Super Mario 64, Sunshine, or Galaxy style in which they would play and look as if those games were 2D. Or they could just throw in the Game Boy games and that would be alright. Of course, slopes, more power-ups, and maybe hidden collectibles or user-created achievements for each level. The possibilities are simply endless for Mario Maker, which makes me hope they continue supporting the game once it arrives on the Switch with continual updates and additions. This one's pretty simple. 3DS and Wii U versions smacked together, and oh me, oh my, we have ourselves a winner. Throw in 2 to 3 new characters, maybe a few new stages, and I feel like most would be satisfied. And you can sure count on me for being one of those most. I gotta be honest with you, I don't really care about this one. I'm not an RPG guy, but for some reason I bought the collector's edition. Came with a neat DRM riddle flash drive. Cool, right? But please let me know what you wish to see on not only the Nintendo Switch presentation coming up on January 12th, but the Nintendo Switch in general. Please let me know. Well, everybody, good luck out there, and see you later.
Alright.
Hey y'all, Scott here. The Nintendo Switch presentation is about to go underway, and oh my, oh me, I am so utterly excited. I've been a fan of Nintendo the vast majority of my life. I play and collect their games, I read into their history, I stay up to date with everything the company does. I'm like, what you would say, way into Nintendo. But recently, I've been very critical about the company. Frequently, it seems like they've been releasing games that just don't live up to the quality standard most Nintendo games boast. However, when the Switch was announced, I was gleefully excited, and I have been awaiting the moment Nintendo was going to pull back the curtains on their latest creations ever since. Because the Switch feels like a fresh start, a reboot for Nintendo. And this moment is nigh. In terms of predictions, I'm looking forward to seeing Nintendo exude mild embarrassment. Oh, and Pikmin! If Nintendo disappoints me, it's no biggie. I always have a bottle of Pepto-Bismol on standby just in case Nintendo makes me want to vomit my feelings out. Well, we might
Potentially.
as well take a pre-swig before everything goes downhill.
In North America, it will be $299.99.
After all the rumors of this thing being a smooth $250, Nintendo's expecting me to spend $300 on this pile of garbage?
It's like Nintendo thinks I'm a sucker who will buy any one of their products at any price point.
And that is Tatsumi Kimishima, the only man who your opinion of changes between every picture he's ever taken. Hey. The best way to describe him is, you know that one guy at a family reunion you don't really know but you kind of recognize? Yeah, he's president of Nintendo.
Today, I'd like to introduce you all to ARMS. ARMS is a fighting sports game that uses extendable arms to battle.
It sure is.
Finally, a game for me!
We'll consider new games for Nintendo Switch, and we'll present them soon.
Hey, sup guys? Nintendo found me lurking in the bathroom and they want me to talk about the Switch. I don't have any games to show, but I like the Switch.
And so that matches with what we are expecting in a game
It's hey all.
process.
I have friends in a Discord call right now, and they're currently muted. I do not know where they are.
So this one game that I'm working on right now,
I'm still here.
EA Sports FIFA
stayed
on
muted.
Nintendo Switch
Oh.
will be the most immersive, social, authentic sports game ever created for Nintendo players.
Hey, what's up, losers? You weeaboos like soccer?
When are we launching The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
それ聞くならね、もっといい人がいますよ。
Mr. Ayanuma! Yeah. You're the producer for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You know everything about the game. Certainly you must know. When are we launching the game?
それはね、僕も知らないんですよ。東京会場の君島
Hello, the Stony One. Welcome to the stream.
Well, I guess that settles it. There's nothing left for me to do but to throw it back to Tokyo. And Mr. Kimishima, do you have the answer to that question?
Shibata-san, Reggie-san, Miyamoto-san, and Aonuma-san, thank you very much. You've left me with a very important task, but I'll have to come back to your question in a second.
Nintendo thinks they're so slick by doing this whole "is it a launch title" thing. Honestly, if it was like this, how big of a slap to the face would it be? So that was the Nintendo Switch presentation 2017 in a nutshell. And overall, it was alright. A handful of games got me pretty embarrassingly excited. Super Mario Odyssey is everything I wanted the next 3D Mario to be. I could do without the real people walking around, but other than that, sublime. That Zelda trailer at the end was literal perfection. The greatest trailer Nintendo has ever produced, bar none. Now, Nintendo usually blows at making trailers, but trust me, this is not only the greatest trailer Nintendo has ever released, but one of the best trailers I've seen in a long time. This is a trailer you show anyone who doesn't know what Breath of the Wild is. It tells you everything you may want to know before buying the game. The open world, coupled with the stunning vistas and art style, action, plot, emotion, it's the real deal. ARMS is honestly a pretty neat looking IP. I see a lot of people complaining that it's a full price retail game, but in its defense, we've barely seen anything from it. I still think there's a lot of ARMS we haven't seen. However, I think the name is dumb. The name ARMS is dumb. I think for a game as weird as ARMS, I think it deserves a more clever, unique, or just weirder title. Not something as broad as ARMS. I didn't give a piss about 1-2 Switch when it was first revealed, but the more I see it, the more I think it'll be a fun party game. Worth $50 though? It should have been a pack-in, honestly. Splatoon 2 is weird to me. It looks like the original, just with more new everything. More new maps, weapons, modes. But Splatoon already kept adding more new elements all the time. The fact that Splatoon continually got new content kind of makes the sequel feel a bit weird to me, just because it feels like Splatoon 1.5 rather than a completely new game. But I really like Splatoon, and it looks like everything I initially wanted in a Splatoon port to the Switch is now being included in the sequel, and then some. So, I like the games Nintendo showed. Where did they go wrong? The third-party section was awful, to put it lightly. They could have saved everybody time by just showing a sizzle reel, interviewing
because
developers on
it's
what they
eating
want
up
with
the
Switch,
stream
and
resources.
If they have any games in the pipeline for it. Instead, they slowly jump from developer to developer. Some didn't even have a game to talk about. Overall,
so I might actually
would've
just
preferred
change the
separate
focus
press
from just
conferences for each
with
reason,
you guys
because
to just
the
on
translation
like
sometimes
live
got a
because
little funky and
it's
different
kind of
regions are
misleading.
focused on different things.
And I
If
can't
Kingdom
stream to
Hearts has
Discord
their
and
press
stream to
conference, for
YouTube at the
example,
same
they
time,
could've
so
revealed Mother 3 for the Switch just because Mother 3 has been in Japan for 10 years. They
Alright.
make a big deal about it being
Time to
on Switch
change the
during
stream
Japanese
title.
press conference. But overall, I'd give the presentation on my patented 12-point scale a solid okay. But that's just what I thought about the presentation in general. What did I think of the Nintendo Switch itself? I'm a sucker.
Alrighty, Mr. Smash Bros. Rumors.
Hey y'all, Scott here. The Smash Bros. Series has been the victim of countless leaks and rumors, as it's one of the most popular franchises ever constructed. With this popularity comes a thick stack of lame photoshopped farce, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look at most leaks and rumors involved with the franchise. So get ready to enter that relevant competency, cause we're gonna look at some garbage!
Starting off humbly with Super Smash Bros. On the Nintendo 64, there weren't many rumors floating violently around for this one, mainly due to the modern internet being in its infancy at the time and this title being the first of the franchise. There are mainly two rumors associated with the game. The first being that various CPU-controlled characters in the game were playable, these characters being Master Hand, the Fighting Polygons, Giant Donkey Kong, and Metal Mario. These characters cannot be played as in the game without the aid of hacking, thus this rumor was significantly busted. There were also murmurings about characters originally planned to make their playable Smash Bros. Debut in this game. Peach, Wario, Meowth, Pit, Bowser, King Dedede, and Mewtwo were all rumored to be planned for Smash 64. However, Bowser, Dedede, and Mewtwo are the only characters that were officially planned for the game. Bowser and Dedede actually had a fair amount of work done on them, but they were scrapped possibly due to time constraints. With Mewtwo, it's actually unknown if any work was done on him at all. Meowth was rumored to have been scrapped in favor of Jigglypuff, but there was never any evidence suggesting Meowth was even planned for the game. Sigurd from Fire Emblem was also rumored to have been planned, but this is a pretty baseless rumor. No factual evidence of this actually exists. However, Marth was considered for Smash 64, but was not fully realized due to time constraints. The rumor of Pit being planned also came with a little dollop of insider info that he was scrapped due to the complications with animating his wings. However, Push Dustin from Source Gaming makes a great point that this would have easily been brought up by Sakurai when Pit was revealed for Brawl.
Hello everybody and welcome to Critique That Leak, the first game show since Are You Smarter Than 5th Grade to exploit preteens, but this time with their Photoshop skills. Critique That Leak is brought to you by Concrete Matter. There's nothing better to start your day off with. Concrete Matter. Well, let's critique some leaks! Welcome back. Our first leak here is the notorious Rayman DLC leak. This was released around February 2015, and nobody really debunked this when it came out. In
I
fact,
love Dr.
Ubisoft
Pepper.
even said they were going to make a statement about this because a bunch of outlets started coming out to them and saying like, hey, is this real? Do you have anything to comment on this? Ubisoft was originally going to make a statement, and then the person behind the leak came out and said, I did this is fake, and that was Artsy Omni of Smashified. And this was actually a promotional stunt to advertise his YouTube show, Smashified, in which he and other artists take much beloved and very anticipated characters for Smash Brothers and, you know, makes them in a Smash 4-esque style to basically show what their render would look like in Smash Brothers. So overall, I don't really have anything to critique about this leak. It was so well done that nobody really was able to debunk it until it was debunked by the leaker itself. So I'm pretty okay with this. No critique for this leak. No. Double no! I'm actually quite a big fan of this leak. This is basically showing that as DLC, a classic mode was going to come, which basically mimicked the entirety of Smash 64's classic mode. I like it. I didn't know the E3 demo for Smash Brothers was supposed to be a mess. Whoa, hold on there, buddy. There's a demo for the DLC? Dude, you're gonna get slaughtered out there. This is some high-class information. What are you doing leaking this?
Moving abruptly over to Melee, this is where rumors really start to crank up a bit. One of the biggest rumors pertaining to Melee is Sonic and Tails being unlockable fighters. This rumor was brought to us by Electronic Gaming Monthly, and it is said that if one would frighteningly defeat 20 enemies in Cruel Melee, they would be treated to a fight with Sonic and Tails, and winning would obviously unlock them. Many believe this report by EGM to be true, however, EGM was notorious for their April Fool's pranks, and this was merely another one of them. Alas, Sonic was close to being featured in Melee, but due to time constraints, it failed to happen. GeoCities.com reported that Toad was an unlockable after achieving a perfect score in the credits minigame, completing adventure mode afterwards while defeating all the Yoshis in the Mushroom Kingdom section. However, this was easily disproven. All the screenshots GeoCities provided were edits of the Toad model from adventure mode. Some speculated that 3 characters prominently featured in Melee's opening cinematic were considered, planned, or scrapped as playable characters. However, Ridley, Wolf, and Samurai Goro were actually never any of these. Wario was heavily considered for Melee, so much so that Sakurai has stated that if he could create one more character for the game, it would have been Wario. However, many misquote him here and have reported Sakurai considered Wario to be a clone of Mario, but deciding against this, as Wario deserved better. There's actually no evidence of Sakurai ever saying this.
Meta Knight's render is basically the same as Brawl's. Leak harder next time. We gotta pick up the Ice Climbers in action here, but why do they take a picture of the gamepad? There's probably like a really nice TV in this room too, and he decides to take a picture of the gamepad. I got nothing. This is beautiful. This all looks pretty good until you realize Ness is Lucas from Brawl, and that is Diddy Kong's render from Tropical Freeze. I'm sorry. This is
Just
a bit
a
of a
blank
neat
stare
leak,
at the
'cause
camera.
This was actually released after Mewtwo was announced as DLC, but before Lucas was announced as DLC. So it's kind of interesting to see that the leaker actually really did predict 2 of the first DLC characters for Smash Bros. 4. However, here's the thing. I believe some pretty crazy stuff, but that is just preposterous!
Brawl is not only much more riddled with speculation and rumors, but leaks now as well, with the internet being a more prominent entity during the development of the game. During a supposed radio interview with Sakurai, it was revealed that Ridley, associated Link a la Wind Waker, and Bowser Jr. were playable characters, while Young Link, the Ice Climbers, and Mr. Game & Watch were all cut from the roster. This was just wrong. Also, nowadays, this would have been debunked immediately. Masahiro Sakurai is the Grand Minister of Secrets and actually takes pride in the surprise and celebration of new Smash characters. It just wouldn't make any sense for him to reveal 3 big newcomers over a radio show, especially when the Smash Dojo was up and running, a blog in which Sakurai revealed new elements and characters for Brawl. At the Wabi Game Festival in Japan, it was reported that a playable demo of Brawl housed unrevealed assist trophies of Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy, Duster from Mother 3, and Muddy Mole from Mole Mania. These rumors were shot down, however, as many others who played the demo did not see these assist trophies, and evidence of these characters in Brawl's code is nowhere to be found.
Yep.
After Snake was revealed for Brawl, Sakurai said there was a possibility that 1 or 2 more third-party characters could appear. This cranked up speculation after Sonic was revealed, as there was still a potential 1 other third party. Many thought of Capcom's Mega Man as the final third-party rep, however, Snake and Sonic were the only outsiders in Brawl. Before DLC became a prominent feature in the series with Smash 4, it was heavily rumored to be in Brawl. A fake website popped up online mimicking a Nintendo press release. The We Want More service was detailed, stating that 4 new characters and 2 new stages were on their way to Brawl, alongside new content for Mario Kart Wii, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. The new content was going to drop on May 13th, 2008. It was fake. Due to the Wii's incredibly minuscule storage capacity and rough online, DLC for Brawl was considered but never came to fruition. Apparently Brawl was the last Smash game. What unfortunate! With taglines claiming one Brawl to end them all and Sakurai reportedly saying Brawl was the last game, many had a hearty dose of right to believe Brawl was the swan song of the franchise. Alas, the tagline was simply referring to how grandiose Brawl was, basically saying, this game is so big it could be the final one. And Sakurai actually said he was making Brawl as if it was the last game, packing in as much content and fan service as humanly possible.
That ended well. And aged well.
Most major leaks for Brawl weren't treated as legitimate by many at all when they first appeared. Most users who posted potential information about Brawl were generally shunned for being stupid, dumb, stupid, and wrong. Chaos Zero was a GameFAQs user who had insider info about Brawl in October of 2007. His leak included the return of Falco, Ganondorf, Captain Falcon, Ness, and Sheik, the inclusion of Wolf, Lucario, and Sonic, Mewtwo getting axed, the Dragoon as an item, Stage Builder, and Final Destination returning. Nyase Nya held notoriety for being obsessed with Peach on Smashboards, however he did have information pertaining to Brawl before it was released. He stated that Brawl would have 35 characters if one would count characters with transformations as 1 character each, Olimar and Toon Link being included, Mr. Game & Watch, Ness, and Captain Falcon returning, the exclusion of the much desired Ridley and Mega Man as playable characters, the game being delayed and released on a dual-layered disc, and the date Sonic would be revealed on. Nobody believed him, with a user even editing his post claiming he was lying and locking the thread. Shadow Zor was able to test Brawl and revealed some information via Smashboards, being the inclusion of Rob and the return of Marth, Ness, and Captain Falcon. However, most did not believe this information due to Rob already being revealed as an enemy in the Subspace Emissary. Lucario, Jigglypuff, and Ness were accidentally prematurely shown in a promotional video for Brawl on January 21st, 2008.
Idiots.
Stickers are highlighted showing compatibility with said characters, confirming them to be playable. However, the video was taken down shortly after it was posted.
So sad. This is actually an April Fool's prank. That is Nestor, a character that originated from Nintendo Power Magazine. So surely, this can't take a critique. But Jesus, man, what's up with that background? It looks like they got the tools from Michaels to make that thing. I dig the GameCube-style polygonal model they're sporting here. Not bad. Ooh, a mystery character. Too bad the other characters look like garbage. I like this one. This one's good. This one's actually really good. I like this one. Watch out, Mario! He's behind you! This was apparently going to be Mewtwo in the Subspace Emissary and Brawl, and this looks better than most of the Smash 4 leaks today. This was made in Brawl's era. Why? This was released before Sonic and Pac-Man were announced for Smash Bros. 4, and get this, I've seen worse. Come on, man, these are literally trophies from the game, but I will give extra points for Chibi Robo in there. This one ain't half bad. I love angles. Want to see a tragedy unfold in 12 seconds?
Yep.
You see, the adventure mode button is garish enough to fit into Smash 4's hodgepodge of a menu system, but that character select screen needs to go away and think about what it's done. This league is actually supposed to mimic what Smash 4 would be like if it was an arcade game, and I actually like this one. It looks very clean and it looks very professional. I dig. Wow, I'm gonna have to call the real patrol on this one, because this is too real.
Smash 4 is really when we get down to the nit-riddled grit. Announced in 2011, Smash 4 definitely had the most rumors and leaks of any Smash game, no
More Dr.
question.
Pepper.
One of the first major rumors was titled Super Smash Bros. Universe. Posted on 4chan, the document details Tripping being removed and more third-party representatives, and reveals the title to be Super Smash Bros. Universe, both with English and Japanese logos. However, Sakurai made it clear that Smash 4 would not start development until the completion of Kid Icarus Uprising, which was around 6 months away from releasing at the time of this leak. Super Smash Bros. Memories! It's a 3DS game with a focus on retro characters. Playable characters include Pac-Man, Mach Rider, Stanley the Bugman, and Dig Dug. The Wii U's title was not disclosed, however it should be focused more on modern characters. Thanks, Zelda Informer. This rumor circulated in early 2012, and I hate to break it to you guys, but it's more of a probability than a possibility this was fake. On December 12, 2012, a supposed Namco employee going by the username Halibutan claimed the next Smash game would be revealed via Nintendo Direct on Brawl's 5th birthday, January 31st, 2013. Newcomers set to be revealed were Takamaru, King K. Rool, Little Mac, Shulk, Ridley, Dylan, Girahim, a Platinum Games character, possibly being Wonder Red, and a Debu, possibly a character from a rumored Yoshi game, potentially being Yoshi's Woolly World. Stages were also planned to be revealed, these being Starship Mario from Super Mario Galaxy 2, Giant Chasm from Pokemon Black version 2 and White version 2, Pushmo Park from Pushmo, and Cookie Country from Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Of course, the date of the speculated direct came and went, meaning Halibutan faded into the realm of irrelevancy.
Yep.
One of the most well-known potential leaks in Smash Bros. History was the Gamatsu leak. I say potential because we still don't know if the leaker behind this was partially right or just had some luck-encrusted guesses. E3 2013 rolls around, and before the Nintendo Direct premiered, Gamatsu got a tip that the characters of Villager, Mega Man, Wii Fit Trainer, Pac-Man, Little Mac, and the Miis were to be playable in Smash 4. The first three were then subsequently revealed as playable characters, and while Villager and Mega Man were somewhat safe guesses, nobody ever expected Wii Fit Trainer, giving this leak a thick honkin' supply of credibility. By February of 2014, all the new characters, with the exception of Rosalina and Luma, were correctly predicted by the Gamatsu leaker. When the Smash Bros. Direct in April 2014 was approaching, Gamatsu received yet another tip from the leaker, stating that Pac-Man and the Miis were still a go and were to be revealed later, while confirming the existence of Chrom, the Chorus Kids, Palutena, Shulk, and a Pokemon from X and Y as playable characters. At the tail end of the Smash Direct, Greninja, a Pokemon from X and Y, was revealed. E3 2014 comes and Miis, Palutena, and Pac-Man come alongside it. At this point, almost everybody believes the Gamatsu leak. In July 2014, Sakurai reveals plans to introduce a new Challenger trailer via a livestream.
Oh boy.
Many believe the trailer was to be Shulk, with Monolith Soft retweeting the announcement of the livestream, and the Gamatsu leaker sending an email stating, "I only know what has been done, not what or when they will be made available. Sakurai may change his mind, and he does all the time. Shulk will not be changed." However, not only was the leaker wrong about Shulk, the leaker was wrong about Chrom. The trailer showcased the new Fire Emblem reps being Robin and Lucina, with Chrom only being a part of Robin's final smash. Gamatsu never got any word from the leaker since, and it is still unknown if they actually had insider information for some of the leak, or just made everything up. In early 2014, a few pictures were shared online which showcased 3DS screenshots of Palutena and Mario on Battlefield. At the time, nobody really debunked this supposed leak. Sakurai even shared a statue of Palutena as his Miiverse pick of the day, suggesting that Sakurai knew about the picture. Later that June, Palutena was officially confirmed as a character in Smash 4, however her model differed slightly from the leak. In the end, it turned out the initial leak was just a well-done hoax. A few months before Super Smash Bros. For Wii U launched, a rumor was floating around forums typically coined as the Tower of Smash leak. This detailed the functionality of linking the 3DS version to the Wii U version and gaining additional playable characters, being Ridley, Chorusmen, Dixie Kong, Mewtwo, and Impa. The rumor stated that all characters and stages would be unlocked from the start. The leaker returned later with a full stage list. This added some credibility to the leaker, as a few stages were revealed that correlated with the leak. With the 3DS offering Smash Run as its exclusive mode, this rumor detailed the Wii U's mode being Tower of Smash. The Tower of Smash was supposed to be a 100-level gauntlet in which the player was to go through 100 levels of the tower, playing a match on each floor with different rule sets. This was a relatively believable rumor, however, it was dismissed after some discovered a screenshot of the Wii U character select screen, showing some characters that have yet to be unlocked, such as Falco or Mr. Game & Watch.
Hey, based on my indecision on whether to make this a game show or a talk show, we have a caller. You're on the air.
Hey Scott, long-time caller, first-time listener.
Leaky Steve? Our leaker on the field? What are you doing here?
What do you want,
I
Kilo?
can't help myself, man. I'm gonna start leaking if I can't help myself. Oh no, here I go again.
Wait a minute, Leaky Steve. Are you sending us an exclusive leak?
Sure am.
Now I trust you with every potential leak, Leaky Steve, but I think you're gonna have to prove
my
yourself
cat
to
wants
our
up.
loyal audience.
Alright,
Hi, Kilo.
fine. Just in case you guys don't trust me, here's a picture of my foot to prove that I'm real.
Is this how all leakers take pictures?
I better scram. I've shown too much, but I'll send you that leak eventually.
August of 2014. That leak happened. The biggest leak in Smash Bros. History. On August 19th, a user posts a picture going through every Smash Bros. Character to date, alongside new ones with X's over characters that were to be cut from Smash 4. The only exception was Mewtwo, who had a question mark over his picture. Then Mr. Motherfucking Leaker swoops in and just vomits this garbage out. The entire character select screen, stage select, the menus, everything was revealed. Now, I remember when this leak came out, and I personally didn't buy it at first. I thought to myself that people can
What do
do
you want,
amazing
Peeps?
things, and with 3D modeling becoming more and more doable by your average Joes, some people can perfectly recreate Nintendo
Ow.
style. Of course, this train of thought was just a waste of energy. Many attempted to disprove the leak, pointing out
Yeah.
inconsistencies, such as the thicker line down here. However, this was actually more so adding credibility to the leaks, as that's just something that the 3DS character select screen does. The placement of the clones and Yoshi were questioned. Many thought Shulk was simply an edited picture of Little Max. Some believed Warrior's right pupil was missing. These inconsistencies were all either false or just another reason to hop on Masahiro Sakurai's wild ride. That character placement still irks me. A scan from Famitsu was later released showcasing the Tomodachi Life
You on
stage,
down.
which correlated heavily with the picture of the stage shown on the leak, revealing angles of the apartment that weren't seen before. About a week later from the original leak, a video was posted online showing Shulk, Bowser Jr., Ganondorf, Charizard, and Lucina all in action. While some were grasping onto the hope that this was just an impressive brawl hack, most had come to the conclusion that the leak was real. On top of this, a solid 12 gallons worth of screenshots were unloaded onto the internet, showing trophies, menus, and so much more of the game. Interestingly, a trophy of Tharja from Fire Emblem Awakening was shown in the leak, but this trophy doesn't appear in the final game. Due to the suggestive nature of Tharja as a character, her trophy may have been removed to avoid rating complications. Finally, on August
makes
29th,
sense.
Shulk was revealed at the beginning of a Japanese Nintendo Direct, sporting the exact same render as the leak. This entire ordeal stemmed from a video Nintendo sent to the ESRB to rate the game, and oh boy, this was a doozy. During a Smash 3DS intro video posted on Nintendo's Japanese YouTube page on August 29th, Ganondorf was accidentally revealed in an off-screen indicator. This video was removed and re-uploaded with the scene edited. Before the Smash Bros. 50 Fact Extravaganza video was live-streamed, Amazon.com leaked multiple new features contained in the Wii U version of Smash 4. These features included the all-new Stage Builder, Master and Crazy Orders, and Smash Tour. Around the time Mewtwo was released as DLC, data miners discovered the victory and stage themes for Roy from Fire Emblem and Ryu from Street Fighter within the update data. This led to speculation on whether this was just thrown in there for a few laughs and chuckles, or these characters were actually going to be DLC. Well, before E3 2015 was about to kick off, Nintendo scheduled a Smash Bros. Live stream in which Masahiro Sakurai would reveal new content coming to the game. A mere day before the live stream commenced, an update was put out for Smash Bros. Too early, and data miners were able to look through it. Within the file, they were able to find the Classic Mode Victory cinematic for both Roy and Ryu, confirming their place as DLC characters. People were then able to hack the game to play as these characters before their announcement, alongside playing on DLC stages such as Dreamland 64 and Suzaku Castle. This spoiled almost the entirety of the live stream, as this was the majority of the content revealed. The update was then released directly after the stream.
Every time I hear Suzaku
That should do it
Castle,
for
I
today.
can't
Of
help
course,
but
I didn't
think of
cover every single Smash
Brian
Bros.
David
leak and
Gilbert
rumor
ranting
I've
about the
received, but
ladders.
I mainly wanted to focus on the major ones and a few of the smaller ones here and there, so I think we covered that pretty well. Of course, if you remember a specific Smash Brothers leak or rumor back in the day, please leave a comment down yonder. And while I wait for said comment, Leaky Steve ended up sending me this big Smash Brothers leak, so I gotta check it out. No way!
Alright, next video. Why the Wii U failed.
Hey y'all, Scott
I'm gonna
here,
turn this
and
down a
man,
little.
Oh man, do I ever hate Nintendo. That's why I bought all of these games, just to make fun of them. Sigh, gosh, do I loathe this dumb company and all of their stupid loser fans. Fans who are all more than likely mega virgins. Me, on the other hand, they call me the anti-virgin. Everybody who is or was at some point a virgin is a major loser, or as I like to call them, a Nintendo fan. Listen, I like the Wii U, but even I think people with a case of fanboyitis have to admit it wasn't Nintendo at their greatest. And I personally think it's a good time to reflect on the system, as the Switch is coming out and we want to make sure Nintendo doesn't do the same things all over again. And don't worry, we're going to be looking at what the Wii U did right too on another occasion. But for now, here are 6 problems the Wii U had. The Wii U launched at $300 for the basic set, which was simply the base system and gamepad in a white color with 8 GB of internal storage, and $350 for the deluxe set, which was the system and gamepad in black with 32 GB of storage, Nintendo Land, and a few accessories. Obviously, this was a bit of a higher price point for what many would consider a budget console or secondary system, and it definitely showed in sales. The system started out okay.
How much did internet decrease in price?
Nintendo tried to solve this by basically discontinuing the basic set and lowering the price of the deluxe set to $300. Now, why would they get rid of the basic set? Couldn't they have just lowered the SKU's price by $50 as well? At least then, Nintendo could have promoted the fact that the Wii U started at a pretty crisp $250. Whatever. The Wii U basically got a price cut.
Bit of price cut.
They got any more after that. $300 has been the price of the Wii U ever since, and it's gonna look kind of funky next to the brand new Nintendo Switch sitting next to the remaining unsold Wii U stock at the same price point. Instead of simply slashing the price and taking a loss to get more systems into more households, or redesigning the Wii U to cut costs, Nintendo just kept on throwing more games into the package to showcase value in the purchase. But the problem is, the price was already too high. Throwing more and more games into the box doesn't attract people when the price for the Wii U was still $300.
Where is the MSRP
price
price
listed?
listed?
Deal, but the price is just not appealing to consumers when the PS4 and Xbox One were originally hovering around that price and currently are or even lower than $300. Let's take a look at a handful of games Nintendo released for the Wii U and similar games in the same franchises Nintendo released on the Nintendo 3DS.
Can't find it.
Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D, Hyrule Warriors Legends, Zelda Remakes HD, Zelda Remakes 3D, Lego City Undercover, Lego City Undercover The Chase Begins, Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart 7, Mario Party 10, Mario Party Island Tour, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, Mario Tennis
They cut it down to $300.
NES Remix, New Super Mario Bros. U, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Paper Mario Color Splash, Paper Mario Sticker Star, Star Fox Zero, Star Fox 64 3D, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario Maker for Nintendo 3DS, Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, Yoshi's Woolly World, Poochy and Yoshi's Woolly World.
Instead of creating unique
Holy shit.
experiences for Wii U, it just seemed like Nintendo took pre-existing engines from 3DS games and made new Wii U games out of them. Now, if you were just an everyday fellow lurking around a Best Buy for no apparent reason and had a yearning to play the latest Smash Bros. Game, what would you buy? A 2DS and Smash Bros. For a grand total of $120, or a Wii U and Smash Bros. For a grand total of $360? That is literally 3 times the price. And yes, it is a better experience on the Wii U, but for people who just want to play a couple Nintendo games, it's obvious you should probably just get a 3DS because most games Nintendo released on the Wii U have 3DS counterparts or ports now, and you would save a fortune by going the 3DS route. The Wii U just didn't have enough unique experiences to call its own, and it just kind of felt like the 3DS HD in a lot of cases. It's a bit weird because when you think about it, the Wii U's main competitor wasn't the PS4 or the Xbox One, but it was the 3DS. Nintendo wanted the Wii U to appeal to everybody, but that made the messaging feel unfocused, and overall it made the Wii U appeal to barely any of the people Nintendo wanted to reel in with the console. Is it a console for the hardcore, or is it for the casuals, or is it for the die-hard Nintendo fans? I don't think Nintendo even knew. Like, why is Nintendo saying this is them wanting to regain the hardcore audience, but all the advertisements feel like sock puppet shows? Of course, their advertisements during the Wii U era were mainly garbage. Almost all commercials were directed towards young children, but in my opinion, those kind of ads don't appeal to anybody, really. The kids weren't what the older kids are playing, and kind of talking down to them in commercials didn't win any of them over. Also, nobody knew the thing was released. I think people just assumed Nintendo went bankrupt for the past 5 years or something. And the publicity Nintendo got from this era, oy vey. Many will tell you any publicity is good publicity, but for Nintendo's past 5 years, that's a solid no. Nintendo's YouTube copyright policy, no E3 press conferences, lackluster sales, third-party support dropping like mad. Yikes, right? Nintendo had no idea how to market the Wii U, and the marketing they did do did nothing for the system, mainly because the price and the games weren't compelling features. Most Nintendo-made Wii U games were good, but they were too similar to games people already had or could get for much cheaper on the 3DS. And the price just never came down after 2013. They needed to finely tune who the system was for before launch, because it ended up being a jack-of-all-trades, master of none. It's like Nintendo was saying, we can give you all these third-party games that are on the Xbox and the PlayStation, and all the casual games from the Wii, and all the new Nintendo games. But focusing on all of those made each of those categories feel unfocused. And welcome back to Name the Console, the incredibly lackluster game show in which we list dozens of video games and accessories with a video game console slipped in, and you have to figure out which one is the console. Only God knows how many more episodes we have left. Let's go! Wii Wheel, Wii Music, Wii Speak, Wii Motion Plus, Wii U, Wii Balance Board, Wii Chess, Wii Classic Controller. Nintendo is one of the most
Wii
companies
Lunch
out there. They could have easily sold a solid 2 million more consoles if they didn't have to be so cutesy and just call the thing Wii 2. Naming it Wii blank throws it in the category of peripheral, game, or I'm not a new console. Maybe in terms of design, they also shouldn't have just taken a sander to the edges of the Wii. The fact that it's almost indistinguishable from the Wii and has the name that echoes Nintendo's messaging on what qualifies as an accessory for the Wii era makes the name and design of the Wii U one of the easiest flaws to point out. This one's a pretty easy one to point out. The Wii U's third-party support was a constant stream of, this isn't working out. Third parties didn't want to invest too much into the console, so they just quickly ported some games to the Wii U. These obviously didn't sell for a variety of reasons. One, a lot of these ports were not so hot. Most were missing content like DLC, modes, multiplayer, etc. 2, a fair amount of these games were released later than their 360 or PS3 counterparts. If somebody wanted to play Mass Effect 3, they more than likely did so when it came out in March 2012. They wouldn't buy a Wii U to play that version of the game 8 months later. 3, there weren't a lot of third-party games that appealed to the main demographic of the console, that being die-hard Nintendo fans. Listen, I'm not saying Nintendo fans don't like games like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect and Watch Dogs. A lot of them do. However, if they like those games, they more than likely have a better console to play them on. The people who only have a Wii U, those games probably don't appeal to them as much. They like games like platformers and RPGs, like Sonic and Bravely Default and Shovel Knight. I constantly see that the third-party games that do the best on Nintendo platforms are games that feel very Nintendo. The Wii U mainly had third-party games that would appeal to the Xbox demographic, and like I said, there are loads of Nintendo fans who like those games. But if they like those games, that means they probably have a console that plays them. Couple that with the fact that the third parties just stopped supporting the console with their lackluster late ports, and it definitely is understandable why the Wii U had such a small library and why third-party games didn't sell well on it.
I'm honestly kind of glad I never got a Wii U.
Isn't interesting to most consumers. Yeah, when you think about it, the tech is pretty impressive. It's streaming video with barely any lag from the console to the controller with no internet connection. But the Wii U was released when tablets were a major thing. The Wii didn't capitalize on a craze, the Wii invented a craze. While I don't feel like the Wii U was solely the way it was because of the popularity of tablets, it was released at a time when everybody had tablets. And thus it didn't have a wow factor really at all. So there were 6 problems with the Wii U. And overall, I did like the Wii U. I thought it had a lot of great games on it. Games like Pikmin 3 and Mario Kart 8 and Smash Brothers for Wii U and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze and Splatoon. These are all wonderful games, but they were on a console with a multitude of problems. And thankfully, it seems like the Nintendo Switch is rectifying a lot of these problems. Hopefully they ease up on censorship as well. Riddle me this, Nintendo! Why can't I name my character Mr. Ass, but I can look up dead dogs on the Wii U's web browser?
Alright, next video, what the Wii U did right.
Hey y'all, Scott here. Death. It's pretty neat, right? Well, that's what the Wii U is up to these days, and during the era of Wii U, I had an alright time. There was a decent handful of great experiences on the platform. However, it obviously had a lot of problems, and I made a video about 6 of them, which you can view here, here, and even here. But we can't be so negative all the time, so here are 5 things the Wii U did right. The Wii U gave us Splatoon and Super Mario Maker, and in my opinion, those 2 games alone prove the worth of the Wii U doing the whole existence thing right there. It's just a shame because if those 2 games came out around launch period, then I think the Wii U would have sold much better. Definitely not Wii numbers, but closer to GameCube and Nintendo 64. Splatoon was Nintendo's first big new character-driven IP since Pikmin, and the fact that it did so well should make everybody happy. It showed Nintendo that their fans are willing to buy more than Mario and Zelda if Nintendo feels confident in them. And Nintendo definitely knew they had something special with Splatoon. Mario Maker is still a Mario game, but is starting what I believe to be a big sub-series for Nintendo. The online communities for these games are massive and show just how big of a success they really were. The coolest feature touted by the Wii U, other than that TV remote on the gamepad, was asymmetrical multiplayer. So many great ideas were implemented into multiplayer attractions in Nintendo Land, and while it didn't do anything to prove to people why the gamepad was crucial to gaming, it was still super fun and was something only the Wii U could do locally straight out of the box. Sure, it didn't have much of a wow factor to it, but asymmetrical multiplayer offered a lot of fun options for multiplayer on the Wii U. The Wii U was Nintendo's first HD console, and some of the games looked pretty good. Of course, not all of the games looked that hot, and Nintendo officially blamed the foray into HD development as the reason behind the long software drought during the first year of Wii U. But the games that looked good looked wicked good. Mario Kart 8, Pikmin 3, Paper Mario Color Splash, Smash Brothers. These games all looked gorgeous, and they definitely helped the Wii U look better than it usually did in comparison to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Nintendo Directs were Nintendo's primary method of relaying information to their fans throughout the Wii U generation. Now, many people could argue that Nintendo Directs aren't good, as they were only prominent through the Wii U generation, the same generation Nintendo had record losses in, but I think for the fans, they were great. They were basically mini E3s every 2 months or so with Nintendo charm, spunk, and residue. And the build-up before one, man, that was awesome! Nintendo Directs are just a lot of fun, and none of them are home runs by any means, but I still think they're proficient ways to relay information to fans about upcoming projects, and with a global company like Nintendo, pre-recorded video streams are the way to go. If you watch my video on why the Wii U failed, which you can catch here, and down there, you'll know that one of my biggest talking points is the fact that the 3DS and Wii U software libraries were vastly the same. But even my arrogance for being right can't stop me from telling you guys that there's a ton of games on the Wii U that I just had a fun romp and a half with. And these games include Pikmin 3, the nerve of this game being so neat. Pikmin 3 is marvelous. It's beautiful and plays like a dream. Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Best Smash game, approach me with Edge, I dare you. Mario Kart 8, one of the best Mario Karts, right up there with Double Dash. Splatoon, an amazing accomplishment for a new IP. Oh man, how can I hold all these games with just 2 hands? I also like these games, I guess. So yes, after countless videos of me dogging on the Wii U, I finally admitted that it did something right. It had some wonderful games on it, and that can't be ignored. However, even the most pathetic...
Wait, is that actually it? Bruh.
That when you look back at the console, it really wasn't that great. I was way into the Wii U during its lifespan, but as I look back at it, I can clearly see why it was a flop. But hey, at least the Wii U's legacy will live on within the Switch, as the HDMI cables manufactured for the Wii U are still being used with the Switch. Yeah, they're just HDMI cables, but that's almost as resourceful as me. For example, I repurposed all my old jeans as washcloths.
Alright, next video. Most modern Nintendo Switch games.
Hey y'all, Scott here, and oh. Wow, things are starting to get a little too real. Well, I hope you're all finding good ways to pass the time before the Switch launches. I know I am. Here are my most wanted Switch games! I would like to see a port of Smash Bros. 4 on the Nintendo Switch. I'm personally not in the mood for a brand new Smash game at the moment, as Smash 4 is already so big that I feel like I've had my fill on the franchise for at least the next few years or so. And I feel like Smash 4 is still fresh enough as a game to re-release it with, pieces of new content here and there to make players happy. And with the concept of the Switch being handheld meets console, I think this is a golden opportunity to just merge the 3DS and Wii U games, or at the very least, bring the best of from the 3DS game to the Wii U one. Make it the Wii U game with the best of 3DS stages, or all the 3DS stages, and of course, Smash Run, and maybe a few trophies here and there. But I think this is still a great opportunity to introduce a few new characters, whether it be veterans or a few newcomers, and of course new stages as well, maybe some new modes, but basically I would like the 3DS and Wii U games merged with possibly 3 or so newcomers and a bunch of new stages. The NES Remix series was a fun time waster between big releases on the Wii U and 3DS. I think Nintendo should continue this series with either NES Remix 3, comprised of third-party NES games, or better yet, moving on to SNES or Game Boy for the series, just as a fun way to moisten software droughts. Punch-Out needs to stop being just a throwback franchise and become a mainstay on Nintendo platforms. I believe Punch-Out has so much potential to become a continuous series for Nintendo, rather than just being that fun little NES game with the Wii revival. I would like new characters, new story, a new environment to fight in, new modes, just new everything. A new game entirely. The Wii game was amazing, but it felt like it just wasn't confident enough to be its own thing, and it relied too much on nostalgia with all the characters. There literally was only one new character in the entire game, plus Donkey Kong. So, I would like to see a wholly new game from Punch-Out. You know, you can have some old characters in there. Characters like Blast Joe and King Hippo feel like Punch-Out's Rainbow Road, you know, mainstays in the series, but overall, a wholly new game. WarioWare has been a surprisingly dormant franchise since 2010. Yeah, we got Game & Wario on the Wii U, but that felt more like Nintendo Land 2 with a WarioWare skin. No, I want a traditional WarioWare game, and with the Joy-Cons and HD Rumble and all the cool motion detection in the Joy-Cons itself, I think the WarioWare team has to be thinking about what they can do with this. This could be bonkers. Mario Maker is one of the most necessary ports for the Nintendo Switch that I want. This game deserves to transcend generations rather than just be stuck in the 3DS and Wii U era. Of course, a sequel would be nice, but I'd be fine with just a port with some enhancements, additions, and continuous support through updates. Now, one of the biggest questions pertaining to Mario Maker on Switch is just how editing is going to be done, because the touchscreen is only accessible on the Switch through handheld mode. You can't use the touchscreen while docked. So, how is editing going to be done? I feel like Nintendo would just shoehorn in some D-pad controls, or maybe some controls with the IR pointer or gyroscope, just so then you can
Oh,
still
they did
edit
that.
things on the TV if you want to. Because Nintendo's messaging with the Switch right now is that it's the same game anywhere you are, whether you're on the TV or on the go. So having part of the game only accessible in handheld mode, I don't think Nintendo really wants to relay that to their fans. Pikmin for 3DS scares the piss out of me. Is this the Pikmin 4 Miyamoto's been talking about for a year and a half now? Oh god! I hope not. I just want a Pikmin game that's a continuation after Pikmin 3, but without the numbers. I feel like the numbers make Pikmin much more intimidating of a series to be introduced to, or to play for the first time, just because, you know, you'd think that you have to play 1, 2, and 3 to enjoy Pikmin 4. That's really not the case. Pikmin is the type of series you can pick up and play with any entry in the series, and just have as much fun as somebody.
Speaking of Pikmin, I'm thinking of starting a Pikmin series on this channel.
Pikmin 4 or Pikmin blank. I want to see new single-player and multiplayer modes. I want to see some new captains introduced alongside Olimar, Louie, and possibly Alf, Brittany, and Charlie making a return in this game. But mostly, I just want to see a new Pikmin
If
game.
anyone in chat has played it, is it better to go in blind or to know what I'm doing?
And then it got really boring and I got sick of it. I just think I would like to see a new entry on the Switch, but with content a little more randomized. So then, you know, I'm playing for like a week and I can still come back to the game and I'm still seeing and hearing a lot of new things. I think Tomodachi Life didn't really do a good job at this because you play the game for a week and then after that you've seen and heard literally everything the character's going to say, and characters are just going to repeat themselves for eternity. I feel like with a new game, I would like to see a lot more content and a lot more randomization in how that content is presented. Monkey Ball used to be a staple of Nintendo system launches, but recently the series has gone pretty silent. Of course, most new entries in the series have been either too easy or too gross for me to get incredibly happy if a new game is announced, but I think Sega has been incredibly serious about wanting to please their fans of their older franchises. And I think if they make a new Monkey Ball game with good controls and good level design, I think most people would be happy with that. And with HD Rumble, there's so many cool things they could do on the Switch. And I think that would be a relatively bangin' on the pretty bangin' scale. In terms of HD remakes, the game I want the most is Super Mario.
Kinda got it.
The game is phenomenal with a few flaws here and there that could be worse.
Very much kind of got it.
Look what they did with Wind Waker HD. They basically took the game and fixed a lot of the problems people had with it and made it even better. But I'm a greedy-looking garbage man, so I want all the Mario games to be remade in HD, specifically the 3D ones. Now, of course, if Nintendo actually did this, there's no doubt they would sell all these 3D Mario games in HD individually, but a greedy-looking garbage makes a dream, right? Imagine a Warrior-style game with every amiibo compatible. Sounds pretty neat, right? Now, I don't think every amiibo should be compatible as a fighter. I'm specifically looking at the Animal Crossing amiibo cards. I think those would do better as assigning special attacks, weapons, costumes, stuff like that. However, you know, the majority of amiibo characters, I think those would be cool as fighters, and then you can level them up and take them to a friend's house and battle your friends in like some kind of battle mode. I think that would be awesome. Dude, I like way dig Puzzle League. Honestly, Tetris Attack is one of my favorite SNES games. For those uninformed, it's called Puzzle League now. Now, the series has made a slight return in the form of the Animal Crossing New Leaf amiibo update. In that game, there's a little Puzzle League mini-game you can play. However, I just want a brand new Puzzle League game, you know? New modes, online multiplayer, online leaderboards, just a new game. Harmonite is a rhythm game on the 3DS eShop developed by Game Freak, and it is sick. I just want a new one, you know? I just want new content, new mechanics, whatever. I just want a new game. I don't care who you are, you like Wii Sports, okay? I don't care if you hate motion controls or you hate what the Wii did to the video game industry. You had your fun with Wii Sports, and I think the series has a ton of potential on the Switch, with the Joy-Cons, with better motion detection and HD rumble. I think Nintendo can do a lot of cool things with the series still. I think they need to get away from the Wii branding, of course, but also not adopt the Switch branding with the series. I think it would make more sense to rename it as Nintendo Sports, so then the game can be on future Nintendo platforms without it feeling weird or constantly changing its name. Of course, I don't want Nintendo to make nothing but these games. I really do like what they're doing now, where they're focusing more on hardcore type games like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. But of course, you know, sprinkle in a few of these games every now and then, and I think everybody would be.
I think after this video, I'm gonna end the stream because I need something. I need to get something to eat.
Long forgotten, like Custom Robo, Chibi Robo, F-Zero, Wave.
I'm gonna get working on the Pikmin 2.
All the games
Gonna
in
get
the
that set
form
up.
of an anti-lame virtual console service.
Wow, we're 8 minutes closer to the Nintendo Switch launching. Let me tell you, time really flies when anxiety reigns supreme. Let's be honest here. A console launch is a big step for us all. It's nerve-wracking. I spent $500 on the whole launch lot of Switch junk. I have to make sure I have no life on March 3rd, and I'm starting to think that email Best Buy sent me about my pre-order getting canceled meant something.